Hello and welcome to another CAD clip on Autocad 2007 3D. And in this lesson we're talking about this awesome new LOFT tool which we have over here on my dashboard off of our 3D Make control panel. And I've just started off, I've got a little bit of geometry, nothing much on this drawing so far, nothing up my sleeve. And all I'm going to do is there's really three ways to use the LOFT tool. We can use the cross section only, we can use a path, or we can use guidelines. And what I'll actually do is skip back to my initial slide here and explain a little bit. So with the lofting with the cross section, all you have to do is provide lines that are closed, and in fact I don't even think they have to be closed, it'll close it for you, but you provide a series of lines that change elevation somehow and follow some sort of route. And this is very uniform because I've tried to keep it simple, but any sort of cross section, basically you provide the slices, and then it will loft the new solid over those objects. So I've kept it fairly straightforward. The second one is path, which we've seen before, but it's again new and improved. And in here we provide a path, and we provide again cross section. So I can put as many circles as I want along here, and I say loft these three objects, picking them in the correct order. Always pick them in the correct order, and then you say P for path, and it'll loft it over that. And the last one, we have our guidelines, where we are lofting the cross section is this bottom octagon, and the top, so the two octagons here are the cross section. They all use cross section. This one uses cross section only. This uses cross section and a path. This uses cross section and guidelines. And I could have more cross sections in here, and I can have more ununiform guidelines. So we'll just kind of go through that. So to start off with, I'm just going to take this, and all I'm going to do, start from grassroots, is I'm going to say offset through, going to pick on here, and pick to get basically some points. Okay, then I'm going to go to my nice 3D view and use my new, because I'm not in wireframe, this next move won't move if I'm in wireframe. I have to go to a 3D view. I'm going to pick on this object, hover over here, drag up, and type in 5. Hit escape. I'm going to pick on this next object. I'm going to go over here, click, drag up, and type in 10. I'm going to click on this last object, hover over here, click, drag up, 15. So now I've got those objects basically raised up, and I can look at that from the front if I want, or I can look at it back from my 3D angle. Now I can go to my loft tool, and it's going to say select cross section in lofting order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, enter, and I'm going to use cross sections only, hit an enter, and then it's going to bump me into my lofting option, surface control at the cross section. Do you want it to be ruled? Do you want it to be smooth fit, normal to? And then you can experiment with some of these. Okay, drafting angles, you can apply those in there as well. Start magnitude, etc. Be careful, because the busier it gets, the more horsepower it's going to take, and the more complicated the curve, the more horsepower you'll need in your computer. So preview changes is nice, because as you go through here and you click on here, you can see that what happens as you make your changes inside of here. The preview, very nice. Okay, magnitude, etc. Not sure what these are, normal to. Okay, smooth, drafting angles, etc. And then hit OK, and there's your new lofted surface that you've created. Okay, so experiment with that. You can go back and shift middle mouse button, maybe click right on it, then shift middle mouse button, rotate that around So just kind of lofting, and there's many different ways you can do that. But that's really, it's not a difficult command. Now I can go back to here. I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to start by drawing a line. Okay. First time I tried this experiment, I drew a polyline and then used the arc option of the polyline and then the line segment part of the polyline, but it didn't work. So I'm reverting back to just drawing lines and then filleting with a radius of 5. Okay, maybe even make that a bigger radius. Fillet radius 10. Okay. No. Radius of 7. Fillet radius 5. There we go. Sorry about that. And then drag this. My point being is that when I first tried to set up this demonstration, I noticed that I just drew a polyline like this and then used the arc option of the polyline and then used the line option with my ortho like this and created the polyline right off the bat that way. Okay, and it didn't seem to work, so you may run into the same thing. So now I'm going to go P edit for polyline edit, pick on here, J for join those up. Now I have a polyline. Okay, just some extra added little setup here for you. Now I'm going to use my new cool 3D rotate command, pick on here, enter, base point here, the axis that I want to rotate around is this one, click on here, ortho on from here up to there. Okay. Now I have that. Now I can go look at the front view if I want, and I can stretch that, do what I want with it, use my grips, etc. Go back to my isometric view. Okay, now I'm going to get sneaky and use my UCS command. UCS enter 3P enter for 3 point, and I'm going to say origin is here, X is here, Y is there, and now I can draw right at the end of that. Now I can draw a circle, okay, in the end of here, drag it out, place a circle. Now I'm going to type UCS, enter W, enter for world, go back and draw another circle at this endpoint, down here, draw another circle, make sure I snap to somewhere along here, something like that. Okay, now, as I shift and rotate around here, can see that there's my objects. Here we go again. Loft, select the cross section first, no matter what, enter, and then I'm going to say P for path, pick my path, and there's my object. Ta-da! Okay, click on here, shift middle mouse button, move that around. Then you can use all our other great slice tools and whatever you want. Okay, so that's again just a sample, okay, of how you can do that. There's many other ways of doing it. Okay, let's take this guy, move him up, hover over here, pick there, move up by maybe 15 units, hit escape. Okay, now I'm going to go to the front view and I'm going to draw an arc from the endpoint of here out to here to the endpoint of there, and I'm going to go look at that in 3D and I can say okay, that looks good. Go back to here, zoom in over here, get ready to array these around. So now I can just use my array command, and I don't have a toolbar up, so I'll type it in. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to say select objects here, enter. I'm going to say rotate items as they're copied. I'm going to say I want 8 items over 360 degrees. Polar, center point I'm going to pick here, and I'm going to hover and place a node. Hover, place a node, and then I'm going to go in the middle of that using my object tracking, pick, and then I'll do a preview, and then I'll hit accept. Okay, then I can go to my 3D view, and now I have that ready. Now I can take these if I want, you know, and start to drag these around using my grips. Oh, you have to be careful because your object snap will get in your way. Make some slight imperfections to this so it's not exactly a basketball. Okay, as I please, it doesn't matter. What's going to happen now is we say loft, select our cross section here, enter. We're going to say guidelines, G for guidelines, and I'm just going to do a crossing box through there, hit enter. Oh, something wrong. Okay, well, let's just do an undo back and before we did those grip changes and see if we can get it to work this time. Here and here, enter guidelines. Oh, the selected entities are not valid, so I've got a problem. And for some reason that geometry hasn't been working, and I do a lot of experimenting and stuff between CAD clips here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start fresh by just going in here and going File and new file right off the bat. And I'm going to start right in here by doing creating my geometry again by creating a polygon by saying 8 sides, and center is here, and I will use my ortho and inscribe to place that. Okay, then I'm going to take that and I'm going to offset it through, say, here. Now I'm going to go to my front view. Oh, I need to move that up. 3D view, switch over to one of these, so then I can click on here, drag this up 20 units high. Okay, go back to my front view, draw an arc from, make sure I get the end point of there to somewhere over here, and I want the end point of there. Okay, back to my top view. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to array it. I'm going to use 8 objects, select this, enter. Center point is going to be hovering here, here, there. Do a preview and accept it. Okay, back to here, cross my fingers, try this again. Loft, here's my objects, enter, guidelines, pick, enter, and there we have our shape that we tried so hard to get. Now I'm going to undo this back. Once you have that, you can start to do what I was taking my O snap off, maybe grab some of these and make some imperfections in here, because it doesn't have to be exactly, you know, smooth all the way around. Okay, do another loft. Oh, pick these 2 objects as my section, G for guidelines. Here, grits that shape, go into in here, add some materials, etc. So following those guidelines. And again, I can have more than one cross section in here to form that kind of free form shape that I'm getting. And remember, the more complex you make this, the more horsepower you're going to need on your computer.